Hey guys. Okay, I got another UFO experience. It's not huge, but it's part of my stuff, so I'm gonna tell you all about it. All right, so this is years later, or maybe not years. I don't know how much later, but this is the next event that happened to me. I'm sitting in well, my friend. She owns a place called. She owns a house, and there's a bunch of hippies living in there. So we call it the hippie house. What it is like a bed and breakfast, but I call it the hippie house. Well, they all just sit there and smoke pot all day, pretty much, and do yoga classes and sit in pools of mud. So this is what I go there because my friends go there, so whatever, right? And you meet people. So one day, this guy, he walks up to me, he goes, "Hey, your name Rich?" I'm like, "Yeah, my name's Rich." And he goes, "Jim was telling me that you were into UFOs and stuff." And Jim is the guy who had the CE5, saw the UFO at Holiday Beach with me. And so I guess Jim told Dave, the guy who's talking to me, that experience. And anyway, Dave's interested in UFOs, so he comes over, he starts talking to me, he says, "Jim said this and that," and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." And he goes, "Tell me about it, man, tell me about it." And I'm like, "Well," and I sat there and basically told him everything. Like, we had coffees all afternoon, so we just talked. I just told him my stories. Basically, I just told him everything that's in this playlist, this UFO playlist of my experiences, exactly the same, over coffees. And he's blown away by it. Anyway, so we leave. He leaves later on that day. And just me talking to someone about the ETs. As I'm talking about the ETs and my experiences, my soul, my spirit, not my soul, I guess my soul and my spirit hook up to the ET that always contacts me automatically. I forget that all the time because you don't think about it, right? And so the whole time we were talking, I'm hooking up to the ETs. The ETs are linked into me, right? And they're basically going, "What's Rich doing? You know, what's Rich want?" You know, basically I'm hooking up to him, going, "Hey, the ET's here spiritually looking at me, going, what do you want? What do you want?" Because I'm hooking up to him from light to inner light, inner light to inner light. So I get his attention somehow, and he's there. Anyway, I don't see any of that, but that's what happens. It's the same with your mother. You're talking about your mom. You automatically align with her soul and spirit, and your soul and spirit are talking. Trust me, that happens with everything and more. Watch my Christ experiences for that. That's what it's all about, man. So anyway, I'm doing it with the ETs, I guess, because the next experience tells me so. Next day, nothing happens. I just talked to Dave about my UFOs, right? And next day, Dave comes back to the hippie house, and the bed and breakfast hippie house. And I'm sitting there having a coffee outside. He comes running up, going, "Raj, you won't fucking believe what happened." I go, "What happened? What happened?" And he lives over on Bruce, not that far away. So he goes, "I was in the afternoon." He goes, I left talking to you. I went home, had a nap, had some food or something. He said it was about 6 o'clock. And he went outside to have a piss in the backyard. And as he was pissing, he looked up in the sky and he saw a silver sphere. He goes, it was like a fucking ball bearing. He goes, and it was right there above the trees. He goes, it freaked me out, man. He said it flew right around in front of him over the railroad tracks. And flew right around. And right in front of him. Like, he goes about 2 stories high up above the trees. It was just above the trees, about 2 stories high. And he said, he said it freaked him right out, and he wanted to come back and tell me. He was trying to call the hippie house, but he didn't have his phone. His wife had, or his girlfriend had the phone, and he was screaming for his wife to come out and see it. But yeah, she was on the phone, and he wanted to call me, but she was on the phone. She didn't hear anything. He's screaming to come out and see the UFO. And then, so he's all messed up now, right? So he comes and he's like, "What the hell happened? Why did I see the UFO? Why did I see the UFO?" And so what happened was, that's what happened. So he comes back to me and he tells me this the next day, and he's all freaked. "Why did that happen? Why did that happen?" And I go, "Calm the fuck down. I'll tell you all about it." And this is what happened. I go, "Me and you were sitting here talking about UFOs for like what, 3 hours?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "When I'm talking about UFOs to you, my spirit is hooking up to the ETs." Okay? He goes, "Okay." And I go, "They hear all the conversation. They look down and see you." And they go, and so they're in the area, probably fucking bored of monitoring stuff. So they decided to show themselves to you. And what you saw was a probe. There was no aliens in it. That's a probe you saw. And he goes, "Okay." And I go, "The ETs were in the opposite. So if you're facing west, and you were facing west when you saw the UFO, right?" He goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Well, the ET craft is cloaked, and it's probably to the east, opposite of where you're seeing the probe." And it was a metal sphere, right? And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "That's exactly what happened, man." And they decided to show you the craft because you were excited about it and you were questioning if I was insane. And they showed you when you weren't expecting it. And he goes, yeah. I went out to have a piss. And here I am with my pissing, and this fucking UFO flies right over top of it, right in front of me, 2 stories away. And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what they do, man." And they go, "Don't worry about it. They're not going to abduct you and steal your kids and shit and all that stuff. They're not. They just wanted to say, hey, yeah, Rich is right on. You're all good. And you always wanted to see one, right?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Now you saw one." And he's like, "Wow." And I go, "That's what they do, man. They're not out to get you. Not my guys. They're not out to get you. They're just like, well, this guy's cool. He's never seen one, so we'll give him a little gift." And I spent 3 hours talking to you, hooking up to them. So they heard basically everything I was telling you. And they know more about you than I know about you. Because they look into your soul. And that's how it works, man. And so when you were least expecting, you were at home thinking about the UFOs, weren't you? And he goes, "Yeah, all day. I was thinking about everything you said." And I go, "Yeah." And as you're thinking about everything I said over and over and over, your spirit is hooking up to them. Now, they're hooked up to you. And so they said, well, when Dave comes out to have a piss, we'll fly by and show him a craft. And what you saw was just a little probe, but it does its thing. It's a probe. They just fly it like a joystick, more or less. They got their headgear and visual stuff and all that, but whatever. It's just a probe. The guys in the craft, the bigger craft, the occupied craft, for me all the time is behind you, cloaked, and you never see it. Cloaked meaning it's either in another dimension or it's actually cloaked and you can't see it, or phased out of this reality. I don't know exactly how it works, but I know they do it. And I told them, I go, well, they taught me to feel where they are. It's like one day I'd see the craft and I'd feel the craft. 2 days later, they'd call me outside and I could feel the craft in the sky. So I'm waiting for it and I'm looking there and it never shows up. 2 days later, I feel come outside and look for the craft. I come out and look for the craft, I feel it in the sky. There it is. And then it disappears. And then 2 days later, I'll come back out and I'll feel the craft, but nothing happens. I don't see nothing. And that happened more or less over my whole lifetime, and that's how they taught me to feel their spirit, feel their spirits, feel the spirit of them, and not just look for the physical craft. So now you can be walking down the street and feel them staring at me from wherever in the sky. I don't know exactly where they are. So when I'm looking at a sphere, and I've seen the spheres plenty of times, when I see a sphere pass by and I feel them over there, then I know that's a probe. So when, I also told him, I go, so when the fake UFO war breaks out, the ET war, that's supposedly going to happen because of Wernher von Braun and a girl, what her name is, I forgot. They said the next thing after the terrorist war, the next thing is going to be an ET war. And you're going to know if it's real or if it's fake by feeling the ETs. So if you're seeing an ET spaceship blowing up the city, everybody's running around going nuts. It's a real attack. Something's really happening. But you're going to know by the feel if it's the ETs in that craft or if it's a bunch of black ops or if it's a hologram. So if you don't feel anything, if I don't feel anything, that's how I'm going to know anyway. I just told Dave, I just tried to explain to him this stuff. Like, if there's an ET spaceship, UFO type thing blowing up the city, all I do is feel. Oh, there's nothing there. It's a hologram. Whatever. It's fake. It's airplane. It's black op guys in there. They're not fucking ETs. I'll know the difference. So basically, that's what I told him. When I go, basically, that's what they did to you. But now you know how it works. And it took me 30, 40 years to figure that out. And a shitload of contacts throughout my life to figure that out. And so it's gospel to me. It ain't nothing. It's gospel to me. Anyway, so that's another little experience I had with and then he became one of my best friends, and I moved in with him at the house he saw the UFO, and I had more experiences that'll blow you away. Blow you away. Well, it blew me away. And I'll get out of them next.